Everything that we're wearing today, even if it was produced in a factory, was handmade, and for me that was kind of a really strong realisation.
Hey tribe, Stephanie Dixon here for Green is the New Black TV, your guide to conscious living in Asia. Today we are shooting in Singapore with the wonderful co-founders Beth and Sarah of Hunter & Boo. Guys, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the journey and how Hunter & Boo was even born.
So Hunter & Boo is a newly launched ethical baby and kids wear label, and we're based in Singapore. So for me the journey started when I became a mum, and I actually have a twin, boy and girl, and they're the kind of inspiration behind the brand for us. So they are actually Hunter & Boo. So yeah, I guess when I became a mum, I kind of got a little bit obsessed with labels and started to really think about all of the different products that I was using for the kids, starting with their food, what they were eating, obviously what they were putting on their skin, you know, skincare products, and from there really just kind of naturally moved on to the clothing side of it and what they were wearing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so from that point then, what was the journey like to actually create the clothes? Maybe you can share that.
Yeah, sure. It started off as an idea that, you know, we knew that we wanted to start our own label, that it was going to be kids wear focused, and from there really the main part of the journey was finding the right supplier.
And so yeah, I mean, I guess it did start with the supplier. So how did that journey even look like, and how, I know it was quite complicated to actually find the supplier that you were happy with, so maybe you can walk us through what that journey looked like and what kind of, you know, were your key things or key objectives that you wanted from the supplier.
I suppose we wanted someone that we could build a relationship with. So we didn't want to work with kind of big agencies and things like that. We wanted very much to work with the factories directly. We wanted someone that was not only kind of someone that we trusted, but someone that was certified as well. So the factory that we work with is in Sri Lanka, and it's certified Garments Without Guilt, which is, you know, their sort of way to certify that things are made properly and that people are treated properly. But on top of that, I guess we wanted to have a complete supply chain. So the factory that we work with, it's quite small, you know, it's family run, and they do a lot of charity work and things, so they obviously shared our ethics, and for us that was really important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time that brands like yours are actually going that extra mile and really looking at a transparent supply chain and understanding and asking more questions about where everything's come from. I think that's really exciting. But let's go back a step and actually understand a little bit more about the garments. So what do we really even mean when we're talking about organic cotton, and tell us a little bit about how you've put those pieces together.
Organic cotton basically means that it's grown at a farm that farms organically, which means that they don't use pesticides, they don't use genetically modified seeds, and it's just better for the community because it just means that their land is kept clean and as nature intended.
That's really incredible. So not only do we have a transparent supply chain, but we have organic materials and eco dyes so that the products are really harm-free in a way. Yeah, that's wonderful. Fun. So what are some of the scary things you've discovered along this journey, or one of the most interesting things that kind of shocked you or that you really learned the hard way maybe through this whole journey?
So everything that we're wearing today, even if it was produced in a factory, was handmade, and for me that was kind of a really strong realisation, you know, particularly when Sarah and I, because we do visit the factory in Sri Lanka, and we have seen the ladies that stitched the clothing, that the Hunter & Boo clothing. And you know, to see the stages that the whole thing has to go through to get to a finished garment really makes you appreciate the amount of people that have actually been involved in the whole thing. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's so interesting because in our world today, you know, you go to the shops and you pick up a piece of clothing, it's just not apparent of how many people have touched it, how many people have made it possible so that that garment gets to you. And I think it's really amazing now with brands like yours that we're kind of pulling back that curtain and allowing people to see the process and kind of reconnect with their clothes. And I think that's a really exciting thing that you guys are helping to provide. One of our favorite questions to ask, and just share the first thing that comes to your mind, is what would Mother Nature say right now if she could speak?
Hopefully Mother Nature would be happy with the progress that's being made towards kind of more ethically minded brands. You know, hopefully there is a more conscious movement and that people are starting to take a lot more focus and become more connected to their supply chains. So yeah, I think that would be... hopefully she is hopeful.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are some little green steps that our viewers can take to consume more consciously?
Check your labels. That's definitely a good place to start, and then, you know, ask questions from there really. I think it's important that consumers are asking those questions of the retailers, because the more of us that ask those questions, they'll have to start to become more open and transparent about their supply chain.
And I think it's just about not striving for perfection. You know, like your house doesn't have to have, you know, every single green product in the world in it, but every time you do buy something that's green or ethically conscious, then, you know, it means that you're supporting those industries, and that will hopefully encourage more manufacturers to grow those areas.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. It was really wonderful to hear more about your story.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. And thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today so that you can live more consciously tomorrow.